Today is, let's see if the settings work correct. Testing audio, 1, 2, 3. All right, looks like everything is working. Cool. Today is May the 26th of 2025. Today is a US holiday. I'm expecting for price action to be not the best today. It's most likely a low probability day for trading. The only way I'm going to take a trade today is making sure that's an extremely clean and crisp and obvious for me to risk. I might do 0.5%, I might do a full percent, depending on what's being shown by the charts today. So we're gonna wait for the 9:30 open, see what the volatility is like, and then create a trade around liquidity and efficiency, and the most important fair value gaps being the first presented ones. So today is 5/25, 5/26, Memorial Day. Okay. For those Americans. So I guess for today's bias, for those who have already tuned in, you look at the top left here. Wednesday's high of last week and Tuesday's high, that is my drawn liquidity. They're relatively equal. I really thought on Wednesday of last week, price would actually take this high out, but it didn't. It created a target for later on. Ever since then, price dropped down. And then right now, I guess, since Friday rolling into Monday, you can see that there was a sharp reversal happening on the charts, rejecting key levels on the daily and the weekly. And right now we are, I think, slowly going to be approaching this level. I don't think we're going to get there today. Most likely not. But overall, my bias is long for the session. Looking at the 15-minute here being the top right chart, what we have is, for those who are new here, and I haven't streamed in I think 2 months now, but we got our Asia range here in purple. In yellow, we see here our session highs and lows for the London session. So these are very key, important levels that price usually gravitates to with the right underlying bias. And these blue lines that I have here is the pre-open, the pre-New York session highs and lows, okay? So what I'm looking for currently is I'm really liking this level here at 21,289. The relative highs that were left around 830. And what I want to see is some kind of sweep of liquidity below us to attack these highs. So we got a level right here. My eye instantly draws to these relative equal lows right below the 6 a.m. first percent fair value gap of the morning. If I can see price do something like this today, where it drives down lower, takes out these lows, and then kind of punches back higher, that's the trade that I'm probably going to want to take. Something like that, right? But we'll have to just wait for price to give us something today. And again, just being patient. Again, today is Memorial Day. It's a lower probability day for trading, and that's why we have to see something very clear in the charts for us to take a position. Other than that, I think there's a 70% chance that there is going to be no trade today, but we'll have to, see what price gives us. You can see like a lot of gapping here as well, pre-market, which is not something that you usually see. Like this gap right here is how many points? 3.5 points. So again, maybe around news you see this, but not normally. So we'll wait for the open in 8 minutes and see if we can position something long, or if things do turn around, then sure. Some short-term targets, if we do think price is going to be going to the lower side, is again this low right here. This is a very strong low that might be taken. So let's label this as the pre-New York low. And then we've got our London lows all the way down here. I don't think it's going to go down here, but again, it's a level that usually gets taken out within the trading times. And on the last chart that we have is actually right here on the bottom right. My video feed is blocking a bit of it, but you can see here London highs being taken by NQ. This double top that was formed around 8:30, a drop lower. There's really only one fair value gap on the 5-minute. That price is kind of not really respecting. It's breaking it above and lower. So I'm not really holding a lot of value to it or strength. But below us, we have a lot of liquidity. So what we have here is a low resistance liquidity run where a lot of lows have been left without taking on the previous one. And again, this is also a target for price to hit and to gravitate towards as well. So something that I'm watching out for as well. And just looking at the 1 hour here, you can see the volatility that we usually see when it comes to American holiday days, or when, you know, the markets are technically closed, futures are still open, but you can see these candles are very, very anemic looking. A lot of painting back and forth, high resistance, and there's really actually one small fair value gap that has formed in the entire day so far, which is right here. Let's see if we can make it a bit bigger here and use that as a reference for maybe a possible trade setup. All right. Kind of looking at the 1 minute here for structure that it's building for the upside, is we got another level of liquidity being formed here. These double tops, these relative equal highs. This is something that, again, can be taken. So when markets create structures like this, it's leaving these equal highs. It's telling your whatchamacallit, retail investors that price is strong. It's going to continue dropping lower, but really these are targets that price is going to want to take out in the near future. So far I'm liking this PA before 9:30. Hopefully we don't take out these levels and it keeps dropping, gives us a nice reversal, and then we take it up higher. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Today's trade most likely is probably going to happen, I'm guessing, and I'm going to draw it out here between these two bars right here, between 950 to 1010. If I don't see anything forming around before or at these times, I'm calling it a day at 1015. But this is when I want to see something happen. The best part in the market, it's the most juice that forms. It's when the algorithm kicks in and it starts delivering to either inefficiency or liquidity. Okay. Let's see here, price dug into the 6 a.m. Monday first presentation fair value gap. So for those who don't know, first presentation, I guess we have some time, so I'm just going to talk here. The first presentation fair value gap, it forms, you know, multiple times during the day. It's essentially the first fair value gap per session. So the first one is the pre-New York, which starts at 6 a.m. So I've indicated here the 6 a.m. Monday first presented fair value gap. Below us, we have Monday's Asia. So it's the very first presentation fair value gap that formed after 7 o'clock Eastern. You can see here how it's being respected. Not so much. There's a lot of chop early on from 7 all the way till 9:30. Hey, Alex. Oh, it's going good, man. I took a step back and I just became a better trader over the last 2 months. Wanted to take the pressure off of me through live trading, and I just got to a level where I'm like, let's bring it back to the public view. Let's showcase my skill real time. But yeah, nice seeing you, Alex, man. Kind of miss this, to be honest. There is a stress when it comes to live trading, but it's definitely rewarding. Right now I'm feeling it. Usually I don't have sweaty palms, but today, like the first live trade of a very long time, sweaty palms. My first live trade ever I did on this channel, I pulled 5K. That was a good very first start of the channel. Yeah, it's definitely tough. But what I'm going to be doing on this channel is it's only going to be high probability setups. And what I've learned over the last 2 months of a lot of back testing and just trading on my own is ICT said many times, time then price. And I kind of overlooked that. And I realized that a lot of my losing trades were because it's the wrong time. And what I mentioned before, that the trade that I'm probably going to take is going to be between 950 to 1010, because that's when the macro kicks in, right? We got 930 right now. There's maybe not today, but there's usually a shakeout and then things clear up. Relative equal highs, lows get formed, and then it starts delivering from 950 to 1010. If it doesn't deliver then we trade the silver bullet from 10 to 11. If price keeps pushing one direction, then it's a lunchtime macro from 11:30 to 1:30, which is a reversal that we're capturing the first high and low after 10 a.m. So there's so many ways of capturing price. We're not going to feel rushed in, and we're just going to be patient here. But we're opening up in a couple seconds here, 15 to be exact. You can see here some lows got taken. Yeah. And sometimes you don't even have to know where the market's going, to be honest. As long as you can understand intraday where price wants to gravitate to within the 15, the 1 minute, that's all you really need. But you can see here, the overall draw of my liquidity is long for the next week until we hit these highs. On a daily perspective, what we might do is if we reject this level and drop lower, I'm anticipating for this level to be filled in or traded to before going higher. That might be a possibility, but this may have been the retracement into this daily fair value gap. And I think this is when we're going to start pushing it higher into these highs here from late last week. So narratives do change, but it is important to have one. And again, to be patient. Just to wait for the right setup. The biggest difference between successful traders, it's patience is one of them, right? And just being behind moves that I think have a risk reward greater than 1-to-1, so at least 2-to-1. And then if you're right 30% of the time, you still make money. So it's all about risk management. And this I'm not liking so much. I don't want these highs to be taken, to be honest. I wanted that to be a level for later on for us. Hopefully it drops back lower, takes out these lows, reverts, and then pushes higher. That would be the optimal trade for today. But we'll see. Remember, today is a US holiday. Let's see what Alex said. Even being in the wrong side of the market, you can get a 1-2 formation. Exactly. Going down day today. We might, right? I'm not fully sold on longs, but my overall draw and bias is long. But we can close down, right? I'm still open to that. But what we're looking for really for this Monday session is not so much where the daily candle is going to close. It's more of where we are going to go on the 15-minute chart. Yeah. Real-time data. Yeah, I pay for real-time data. I think, Claris, I remember that name. I pay for real time. It's really cheap. It's like $10. Like you have your premium subscription to TradingView, which is this really sucks, this price action, guys. Look at that. My levels have been hit already. How much is it? It's like $400 for the whole year, and then I pay I think $6 or $9 or $15 per month for the subscription for NQ specifically. Yeah, so you can see that, right? It's, if you guys see levels that your eyes gravitate towards, just like this, these are high probability trades. But you can see here, taking a trade off the 930, very risky in my opinion. I don't have that skill set to just take a longer short right at the 930 open. But price did reject the 6 a.m. first presentation, fair value gap. And then right after it explodes the upside and it's pushing up. Our first presentation for today is, let me quickly check here when first presentation is. All right, so we opened up right here. First presentation is right here. So this is going to be probably the most important fair value gap for this session. Since we've taken these highs out already, where can price go? It's a good question. I place my entire bias over these highs, taking them in the morning. Let me think about here, guys. So looking at the top left here on the daily, we've got yesterday's new week opening gap that was rejected previously. You know, there's a high there that can possibly be taken, but we'll be trading into that new week opening gap, which I'm not too crazy about. I am liking this overall rejection on the 1 hour for bullish price action as well. On the 15-minute, we don't really have any session levels that we're aiming towards because London's below us, Asian's below us. Like what I want to see is like some kind of like 1 minute formation coming back lower, rejecting it, then maybe taking a long, something like that. Like that, I would need structure built out to take something long again. But again, for the target of in the next 45 minutes, where can price go to? The next draw is going to be here, right? But like, I'll tell you guys right now, I'm not crazy about this, like taking a trade long into here. But let's give price some more time. Let's see what it creates. It might just be gyrating up. I don't have these levels here, but let me draw them out. So the line that I just added here, this green bar, this is Wednesday's first presentation fair value gap from last week. Let's see how it's going to react to it. If it's going to use it as an inversion and take price higher, or if it's going to break right down through it. That's kind of like hit number one. Hit number two is this blue bar here that we see on the 15-minute chart. This is a daily fair value gap. So if you go back to the daily here on the top left, right? I want it to be respecting the upper part of it, right? If I see sensitivity to it, price might go higher. Okay. But we will see. And you know, if we've managed to position along right after the open, like, I don't know, like theoretically, could this have been a trade right before the 930? You take it on this low test candle, and then then you're aiming for this level right here for 3.5 to 1. I'll probably say theoretically yes, but what are the negatives? This liquidity right below us, and there's a very high chance that price would have opened up, taken this out, and then gave us a push. And that's the trade that I would have went long on, but it never did that. So you just got to stick to your strategy and just not chase price, because chasing price is for retail traders and investors. Oh. So all in all, this might be an eventful Monday, but see, at least we get a point for being right on direction. It's just, it didn't give it the conditions to get in on the trade. All right. like if I see a massive drop down lower, what's a possible target that we might aim for? The mean threshold of the RTH gap. So for those who don't know what an RTH gap is, it's yesterday's close at 414 and today's open at 9:30, and it's that difference. That's the regular trading hours opening gap, and based on stats, there's a 50% chance that the midpoint will be taken. This one's fairly large. It's 300 points to the upside. So what that usually means is most likely price won't hit the midpoint. Sorry about that. Will not hit the midpoint, and I think if anything, it might dip into the first quadrant of this RTH gap and then continue higher. But you really never know with price. You have to wait to see what it gives you and then trade off of there. But an open like this, price is inviting price to come back into these levels. So because we haven't really traded in here at all, maybe if we continue going higher, I would anticipate at 11:30 for price possibly to come back in here, if not in the afternoon session. But today is a holiday in the States, so things are a bit more tricky. Give me one sec, everyone. I just have to fix one thing from my end. Does anyone here have a bias of long or short, or a trade that they're looking sub 1 minute or anything at all? Because right now I'm seeing nothing. I'm seeing nothing that is worth trading. If you guys are enjoying the stream, feel free to drop a like. It really helps me out. But bounce off of the 15-minute fair value gap. Yeah, but this is such a sloppy bounce, guys. Like when the close and opens of the candles do this, you know, it technically is a rejection, but the way I started trading is for fair value gaps to be like respected and to be seen moving. Like this right here, these rejections are nice. Like you can see bodies aren't touching it and then it just drops right lower through it. Or right here, bodies are closing to the upper half of the fair. But this right here, this is messy. This could be like holiday related. But technically, yes, it did reject this level in a very messy way and it pushed higher. Claris has a limit at 21,290 for a long. Let's see, 21,290. So right here for a long. I'm gonna give you my opinion here, Claris. Like if you think that that's part of your trading plan to trade it, but you know, theoretically, we had a market structure shift. You know, on the 1 minute here, that's gonna be seen as a breaker, where the first presentation fair value gap is. And can you just continue going higher from here? But like, if you're asking yourself, what levels are you trying to hit? If it's gonna be these two right here, I think I can bet $100 that it won't be hit today. And if it does, I'll be surprised. But most likely, I think today it's gonna be one of those sideways days. And I'm just looking for something clean intraday at this point. 20 to 40 handle move and take it in. But it might span out along from here. It might reject 2090, which is the upper half of Wednesday's first presentation for value from last week. If you see like good respect, you can take it longer for like, what level do you want to hit, Claris? Like, what are you aiming for? And you better not say 21,564. Because I don't think it's going to deliver 280 handles in the up direction on a very low volatility day. The 337 level, 337, 335. Oh yeah, you guys are aiming for that high that I mentioned. Yeah, if it does, then yeah, that's a level that might be hit. That's Thursday's high. See, this is interesting here. You see how these candles are just closing just at the high of Wednesday's first presentation fair value gap? Like these are signatures that we want to see in trading. Okay. On the 15-minute, this is no good. This is nice, but if you look at the dealing range here from like the low to the high, you guys are taking longs on the premium side of the latest price swing. Okay. Just keep that in mind. Like, what if it goes all the way to like 0.618 or 0.75? You guys better have a stop loss, you know, pretty low, but then your R starts going away. So I'm just gonna map your trade. Claris, I'm just curious here. What's gonna make sense? If you are taking something here, like where would a stop? Like to be honest, for me to feel safe with a stop would probably have to be here at 21,272. I'm not taking this trade, but if I was, and there's a lot of conviction of it turning around here, I think, oh, Garavit's back. Yeah, long time, guys, long time. Yeah, surprised my memory's so good that I remember all these names. $258. At 258 down here. That's definitely a large stop loss. Long gap, first percent fair value gap. Okay, so Garavit's idea is like this. So see, this I like a bit more than Claris in your idea. I just don't like taking longs, and I'll tell you why. If you take longs like this every single day, and this is your model, I think there's going to be like the positive impact isn't going to be as great as being a bit more patient and waiting for deeper retracements and taking price long or short. Like a trade like this would give you a better entry, a better stop loss, and would give you a high RR versus taking something like this. It's very easy for price to go back down and wick you out. But I'm not saying it can't go from here. It's just based on my back testing and research, just probability of large numbers and data. But I really hope the trade works out for you, Claris. I'm rooting for you. I'd be gambling if I took that from my end for the channel. Looking at the 15-minute, like, do you think price is gonna revert back down below the open after this very bullish 15-minute candle? I don't think so. It could. It could. But we'll see. Yeah. So Garrett, my model has changed too. I started trading only during macro times, and I wait for, and I only trade around key PD arrays. I wait for sweeps, MMS, key PD arrays, and I take it to relative equal highs or lows or session highs and lows. You remove the limit. Yeah. Claris, I like that thinking. Even if the trade goes in your way, I think you did the better thing there by removing your limit. Yeah. So we should get some action. So this is nice. Okay. If price continues to drop, this is going to be relative equal highs here that are going to form on the 1 minute. Okay. Let me add some lipstick on here. This is our breaker. So I'm not going to draw it, but there's a breaker here as well on the 1 minute. Maybe let's draw the breaker somewhere else. On the 5 minute. Okay. So this is our breaker. So in the morning, what did price do? It took out pre-New York lows. It reversed, market structure shift. It created a very large 5-minute fair value gap. It's trading on the upper half of the daily fair value gap. It's rejecting it, which is nice, right? But what price is going to have to do is going to have to break this low, get to these levels, and then push price higher. What's orb? original breaker. Garrett, help me out here. Yes. Since I stopped streaming, I only pulled out 15K from Top Step. Not that much. But I'm hoping through, I guess the one thing I'm kind of missing is patience. I'm like, through live streaming, my patience has increased by a lot just because I've got so many eyes on me. So I'm like, I can pull a bit more. I think since last November, I'm at, I think 41K of withdrawals. But again, it should be way higher. I was aiming for like a $500,000 year and I'm barely at half of 100K. So opening range break. Okay. Some people wait for 5 minutes. Yeah. You just have to have a model that you're confident in. But mine is, it's deeply around the 950 to 1010 macro. First presentation, not touched yet. This has to be a hit for me to take a long. Yeah, Venom. His Venom model was pretty good, to be honest. If I recall, it's 7 to 930. No, was it 8 to 930 highs and lows being taken with a fair value gap on the upside and on the downside with like a wick. Like this wouldn't be. Would this be Venom here? It wouldn't. For it to be Venom, you'd have to have like another strong candle close like that, like going up, and then you have two fair value gaps, which is essentially a BPR, a balanced price range, and then you take a long off that. I just can't remember Venom is from 7 to 930 or 8 to 930, the highs and lows. But you can see the lows have been taken here right before the open. In hindsight, I can see this trade going long, but it's not for us. But this so far is nice. Consolidation. So remember, AMD, accumulation, manipulation, distribution, right? So here's accumulation. Now I want to see manipulation to the downside and then distribution to the upside. Okay, so Venom is 8 to 930. Yeah, it could be. I have to double check that video that he posted, but it's either, but this would be essentially Venom. Very close to a Venom model, but it's not Venom. And then if ICT was here, he'd be like, even if this was like an up candle, he would probably find a reason to not call it his Venom. I did take one of his Venom trades back in the day on the 5 minute. He posted about it 3 to 4 weeks ago. It felt pretty good that I took his Venom trade without knowing it's a Venom trade. But look at that. Price is definitely breaking down now. You have relative equal highs, a nice push higher. And then let's see how price is going to react. And let me just get Top Step X ready here, just in case if I'm going to have to pull the trigger. For me, my trade's going to be like this. It's going to be very, very quick. If price gets this low, I don't think it's going to take out the highs, to be honest. Or sorry, the high of the RTH gap. Okay, we are right now in the macro. So in the next 20 minutes, if we don't get something clear, no bueno, guys. No bueno. This is kind of like Venom. Yeah, kind of. Like the BPR is like here, right? Like that's a 1 minute BPR. It's where price paints down and up. There's two fair value gaps. That's a balanced price range. We got a breaker here. A 5 minute breaker. Like if I were to be trading this, I'll probably have my stop right below the midpoint of this fair value gap. I want to see a rejection of this and then take it for like a 3 to 1. And most likely I won't capture it there. It might be something like that, to be honest, like a 2 to 1. But let's see. Let's see what price gives us. And I'm not sure if you guys listened to ICT's X Space over the weekend on Saturday about It's called Welcome Colorblind. But he kind of talks about how you have to, disconnect from like the outcome of the trade. And we have to accept that it might do all this and we might be still wrong. And you have to be okay with that, right? Like you have to accept the loss. It's a part of your system. It's a part of your trade. If it's red or black, it doesn't matter. This is the system that we're following. And, through back testing and through previous results, it works. You just can't have emotion, FOMO, fear, all of that. I think it's, plaguing us and tainting us as traders. So we'll see here. But here it's patience, right? Someone's trading GC. Yeah. Overall, I'm plus on GC, but it's a good market to trade. I'll tell you that. It was recently really good with like all this bullish price. It's crazy. But I did manage to catch some trades. But I'm primarily focusing on NQ. We'll see here. Price right now is digging in. These fair value gaps on the upside, they should invert. Okay. This is a bearish PDA. Okay, so what are we looking for right now? We're looking for a really good rejection respect of this first presentation fair value gap here. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see price closing below it. And if it does, that's okay. I'm just going to wait for price to get above it, respect the mean threshold, and then I'll take it longer. So there's multiple rejections that it can take off of this specific level. If you're more convicted, you can take a long off the midpoint, but price might just continue dropping lower. But I'm going to wait for a bit of rejection on the 15-second and respect. So I'm going to lose some RR, but it's going to give me higher confidence in taking it long. Oh, that's crazy. From 1950, what is it at right now? 3.3. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yesterday, that's what I was wondering, because like I was setting up my stream and I'm like, I wonder what happened to the OG gang. They're here trading on a low probability day, but we'll see. So, okay. So I like how it wicked below it. Let's see how it's going to close. Okay. So in 30 seconds, we'll see where this 1 minute is going to end up at. The one wild card that I have today is that it's a banking holiday, which I'm not liking. I'd feel a bit more confident if it wasn't, but I got filled 16 contracts. Nice. On the 15-second, it's holding nicely, but we'll see. I need a bit more. I like how these bodies are staying in the upper half of this fair value gap. Really nice to see. And the way I'm going to get in, based on my model, is if I see a displacement to the upside, I'm taking the first fair value gap on the 15-second chart and I'm taking it long. And most likely my low is going to be right below these lows. If price does hold, that's where my stop loss is going to be for an aggressive risk reward. Garvit, what level are you attacking? What's your TP, your target? So price gap lower here. Not in the straight yet, but let's see how this fair value gap holds here. The one negative thing to this trade is that we haven't traded at all in RTH, like nothing. 300. Okay. That makes sense. Good target. It'd be nice to see this candle close on the upper half of this fair value gap. That would be nice to see. That's additional positive confluence for taking it long. But again, something that's not sitting well with me right now is just, okay. And I am going to, I'm waiting for this close right now on the 15-second, and I'm going to take it long. All right. Oh, wait, I'm not long yet. So I'm looking right now at a 15-second fair value gap, and it didn't close within it. You guys can't see my 15-second chart right now, but I'm waiting for a bit more confluence to get long on it. If we traded first into this RTH gap, I personally would feel more confident taking along, but since we did, and price might just be going to this level right now. And I need to be confident that price is going to turn at this level. So these closes are nice so far on the 1 minute. Okay.
Order filled.
Taking a quick long here. 200.
Order filled.
My risk settings are F. Okay. All right. So this is my position here. We'll see if it hits.
Order filled.
Scaled in 7 contracts right now. Okay, my stop loss is going to be at 267. 267, okay. So we'll see. Okay. I'm risking $200 on this trade to make 370. So it's like a 1.7, 1.8 to 1. And we'll see. Confidence 6 out of 10 here. It's on the higher end, but we'll see. So right now, price should be delivering. We're within the macro time of 950 to 1010. And again, if this fair value upholds and price does close above it and it starts pushing higher, then target should be head to the upside. But so far, price has failed. It did create a nice displacement, came back down. And if it doesn't go higher, it just means price wants to go lower to the RTH gap, which is fine. We'll see. First trade of the live stream. Break even for me is going to be probably, if we do push higher, once it hits this high here, that's when I'm going to get break even on the trade. Or I'll reduce risk. But it has to get at least to like 1 RR. So we're trading below the midpoint, so we are in a discount officially, which is good. My stop loss, I think if it breaks this low, it's going to take me out, to be honest. But this risk has been essentially layered to use this FEG here to protect it to go to the upside. So we'll see. Like, I label this trade as like a B in my opinion. I don't know. It's far from A plus. And just because RTH gap hasn't been traded to, it's a US holiday. So we will see. And if it takes me out, I'm one and done, guys. I'm not going to be revenge trading this trade today. All right. That was a nice wick into the lower half here. I don't want to see price continuing lower. If it does, then it's going to continue lower. Okay, that's good to see. Price is staying in the upper half of this blue fair value up here. This may have been the first presentation right here. ICT just dropped some new rules on what a first presentation should be. But we'll see here. I'm moving my stop loss here. If it breaks the low of this candle, it's going to tap me out. Or you know what? I won't move it at all. I'll keep it at where it is. Okay, now we wait. If we're correct, price should rally from here and push higher. If not, then it's going to RTH highs. And it's going to start digging into this RTH gap. But overall, I like the trade. I think it's
order filled.
And I'm done. Order filled. It took me out, even though. Hold on. Let's do this here. So price did a good job of holding this first presentation here, but it just had to collapse lower. So what price can do is, I would laugh if it turns from here and goes higher, but most likely it's hitting these RTH highs here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minute trade. Sticking to the BPR. And it's probably gonna be hunting this RTH high here. If price gets back above this first presentation, I might attempt a 50% long. But we'll see. It's already 10:06 on a US holiday, so we shall see. So far, this is a high resistant run. Not a lot of fair value caps have formed during this time. Price rejected. So looking at it the other way, it tried to be above the daily FEG. It failed to do so. It broke back down. But I do want to see how it's going to react to this level here. So price here is respecting the midpoint of this fair value gap here below the first presentation. If I see clear displacement to the upside and it's coming back down, then that's the only time I'll take. And based on my rules for second trades now, I only take 50% of the initial size, so I'd be risking $100 for the trade. But we shall see. I'm not convinced right now that it's going to turn around and go higher, but it might. Price has to tell us what it wants to do. So we got a volume imbalance here. Price is respecting the lower half of it. It's hitting this BPR as well. It created relative equal lows here on the 1 minute. It may run them, to be honest, to the downside. Or bodies might stay above the midpoint of this fair value gap and it might rally higher. So we'll have to see what price wants to do here. Price is most likely gonna close above this volume imbalance. So that's like the first bullish signature that might turn price around. We do have these relative equal lows here, but just how these bodies closed. Price went into the 931 fair value gap, punched into it. It's pulling back from it now. I think Garavit's still in the trade with a stop loss at RTH highs. And right now we've just left the macro time. So for me, if I didn't take a trade, this one right here, I probably wouldn't be entering, specifically on today's US holiday. Try to take this long. It's just really waiting for ultimately a lot of juice before it may send price higher. Maybe at 10:30 it might push up. Maybe at 11:50 to, or sorry, 10:50 to 11:10. But as of right now, my only interest was this time frame here for the morning. Let's give price 5 more minutes here. I'm just curious what it's going to do, if it's going to ultimately start digging into the RTH untraded RTH, or if it's going to start pushing higher. But I have a feeling it's going to push lower, even though that's something that Gareth doesn't want to hear. That's where I think it's going to go. And looking at it like retrospectively, we've taken buy side twice, 2 levels. We came up higher, rejected the upper half of the daily fair value gap, and then pushed lower. Our anticipation was that it's going to continue the trend moving higher. But again, US holiday trading is always a bit tricky. All right. I'm gonna give it one more minute and then probably close down the stream. But I guess on that note, guys, you know, if you're really trying to trade something, trade extremely small. The bias of the untraded RTH gap, this is a draw on liquidity. So don't forget that. And we have relative equal highs here that formed above us. That may be a draw as well, if price does have the bullish power to push past it. But you can see here right now, it's going to bounce between these 2 fair value gaps. We're outside the macro times. It's a low volatility day. There might be a lot of chop. It might get there, but I think today is definitely harder trading conditions than we usually get. And on that note, guys, if you guys, you know, enjoyed the stream, I'm not going to be trading anymore for today. That's it. Feel free to drop a like. And I'm going to try to stream every single day from 9:15 to 10:30. Take care, guys, and talk soon.